Hi guys, and welcome to Enozoik Wine Club. Let me introduce you to wine for the month of May. This is Grillos Cantores, Cabernet Sauvignon, actually from a winery called Clos de Fous. Sounds very French, but it's not French. It is Chilean, coming from a region called Alto Cachapol. And it's 2014. Fous means crazy. This was made by four crazy guys. Established in 2018, just because they were sick of hearing that all Chilean wines are actually quite industrial, quite overripe and quite commercial. One of those four guys is Pedro Parra. Kerry is also known as Indiana Jones of terroir. He's got a PhD in terroir. One of the most famous consultants for many top Bordeaux wineries, Burgundies, Piemontes, on terroir. Pedro's always looking for those vineyards that are quite extreme, so either going quite high into Andes or heading south in Itata Valley where granitic soils take over, and even in Limari, kind of heading north towards kind of Atacama and desert. Now this wine, it comes from Alto Cachapol. It's only about 6 kilometers away from Pacific, but it's also 450 meters above sea level, so it's quite, it's got a great, during the day obviously it's quite warm, it's got a lot of ripeness, but actually during the night that temperature really drops, and that cool air coming from Pacific comes into vineyards. It really cools the vineyards and helps to retain that acidity and the freshness on grapes. So this is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. It was all hand-picked and fermented in concrete vats, and half of it stays in concrete and half of it goes into oak barrels for about 18 months aging, and after that spends another year in a bottle. So let's taste it. Straight, I mean, from a color you can notice that it's got a ruby color, but showing a bit of that kind of tawny character. It is 2014, it's got a good 7 years on it. So showing a bit of age on the nose. It's quite pronounced. It's really packed with lovely that blackcurrant and cherry fruit, but a lot of the kind of leafy kind of notes, telling us obviously it's coming from the slightly cooler climate. It's quite leafy, a lot of that blackcurrant leaf, tomato kind of leaf character. Quite a lot of green tea. I think oak is at the background. There's a bit of that toasty kind of character behind it. Very complex indeed on the nose. So on the palate. Palate's dry. It's got great acidity, quite high acidity. Again, connecting us to that cooler climate. The alcohol is kind of medium plus. I mean, it's got a bit of warmth to it. Obviously, it is still very Mediterranean over there. But the body is, I would say, probably medium to medium plus. I mean, I wouldn't say kind of full-bodied wine. It's got really that lovely acid that really breaks it down, keeps it quite fresh and kind of a bit lighter. But it's very layered wines. I mean, a lot of that, again, a lot of the cherry character. The blackcurrant comes through. There's a bit of that tiny eucalyptus, kind of that fresh note that is also coming through. Lovely pepperiness on a palate. Again, oaky characters come through, so there's that bit of sweet spice as well. So bit of that touch of that cinnamon, touch of that toast at the back as well. Very, very layered. Very layered, very complex, and quite long, I must admit. It really, really stays with you. I mean, great wine. You can easily enjoy it on its own. As I said, it's not too heavy. It's not really kind of full-bodied because of that freshness, that acidity that it carries. But I think we're heading into kind of nicer weather, perfect wine for those kind of spring barbecues. Yeah, I hope you'll enjoy it. I'm seriously enjoying this. Cheers.